Hey everybody, welcome to the iProv vlog. I've got Patrick Laughlin with me. As usual, I'm Jordan Smith with iProv. How are you, Pat?
I'm doing great, Joe. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. It's
Good.
halfway through the week. We're getting there, right?
Yeah, we're starting to. It's funny, I don't have many shirts left, and doing these videos and Zoom calls is
Yeah,
brought that home.
I know.
It's time to get back out and do a little shopping.
Yeah, get some. Well, speaking of that, I think that's a great intro to our topic today, which is opening back up during COVID. So we know that a lot of states, as we speak, are starting to give direction to different organizations about how they open up, when they can open up, that type of stuff. So we want to talk a little bit about things to consider before opening up during the time of COVID. So, Pat, what are some things that some organizations should think about if they're considering opening up, or how they develop policies on how to before they even start with messaging?
Well, I think the most important message that any business needs to get out is that just overwhelmingly is that the needs of their business can never and should not outweigh the need for public health. I think that any business that communicates something different does so at their peril. I think it's really important to make sure that you are balancing what you say and your need to be in business, because that's really important. I mean, without commerce, we're in deep trouble. But that can't take precedent over public health. And so I think that you need to make sure that you're communicating the safety measures that you're taking in place, the way that you're going to be responsible for your customers, the reasons that customers should feel safe coming back to your establishment. And I think really focusing on that public health aspect, and that you are not only abiding by, but exceeding the standards set out by your local governments. I think that's the most important thing to communicate right now.
That cannot be understated. For those people who are listening to this, for me, for instance, I'm not rushing back to my favorite bar or restaurant, no matter what the government says. So I think also keeping in mind that there's going to be a certain amount of people that you're just not going to get back, no matter how strict your policies and safety measures are. Some people are just not they're just not going to continue life as usual until there's a vaccine or everything's completely 100% safe. And I think just living with that fact, as hard as it is from a revenue standpoint, is going to be important also.
Well, but I also think, like we've talked about a lot of times, I think that smart marketers use times like this to gain market share. And so you're going to lose some customers because they don't feel safe, no matter how safe you are. But there are lots of customers out there that are just dying to get out of their houses. Now's a great time to show them what they've been missing by not doing business with your brand.
Absolutely. And even, essential things, or things that we would consider essential that people have been putting off: dentist appointments, shots for their kids, checkups for your animals and vets and that type of stuff. I mean, those are things that people have put off a while. So if you're one of those organizations, think strategically about how you can get that messaging out and how to make life easier once they get there.
And I think it's really important that we stress the customer service side of it too. People that are going out and doing business, there are new expectations for customer service that I don't think were in place before this.
No, like how quickly can I get in and out, right? If you're a pediatrician, right? I know that you're having people wait in their car and calling them whenever they're ready to come in. And once you get in, there's no lounging around the waiting room. It's straight back to the doctor, get everything taken care of, and right back out. So how can you make that experience a little bit easier for them? How can you, whether it's setting up beacons that automatically push out a push notification to their phone once they arrive in the parking lot, telling them how many people are ahead of them and how long they're going to be waiting in their car. Things like, text reminders, maybe the beacon thing, and we can go into a lot of detail, but maybe it's even just something that you can set up in your text system. hey, call us or shoot a text to this number when you get in the parking lot, and our system will automatically let you know how long you have to wait and how many people are in front of you. But different things like that. Like you said, once you get there, just because you're not a retail space doesn't mean that you can't make a great customer experience once they get there. Make them feel safe, but also still continue to try to delight that individual, you know?
I also think it's important that businesses that are reopening now set a good example for the rest of sort of the communities that they're in. You know, we have a gym client that you know, the government says that gym employees must wear masks, and they're telling anyone that comes in their gym, unless you're, you know, huffing and puffing on the treadmill, you got to wear a mask too. And so whether or not that's necessary, it sets an example for the other people that they run across, that mask use is one way to sort of try to flatten the curve of this thing. And that you're being a responsible member of that community, that you're encouraging positive behavior.
I like that a lot. You know, just, we understand everybody needs revenue right now. Everybody needs to get back to work. That doesn't mean, like Patrick said earlier, that you have to risk customer, client, patient safety in order to do that. And I think everybody out there knows that. But don't stop trying to find ways to delight that customer. Don't stop trying to find ways to make whatever experience they're going to have once they get into your building, one that they're going to go tell their friends about. Because like Pat mentioned earlier, now is not only the time to increase market share, but now's the time to really strengthen that brand loyalty that they have with you by just being the best organization that you can once you're interfacing with them.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would add to that is, you know, this is like a great reset button. If your brand wasn't strong before, now's your chance to strengthen it. And there are lots of ways that you can do that. That's sort of the beauty of the age that we live in. It's never been easier to build a customer-centered brand. And so I think that using this opportunity wisely could actually help you grow your business.
So speaking of that, before we wrap up, everybody, you know, comment, let us know what you're doing to make sure that your customers and your clients and your patients are safe. Let us know what you're struggling with too. We might have an answer, or if we don't, we might know somebody who does. So let us know what you're doing in your organization to make sure that everything's above board and that you're doing the best thing, not only for your customers, but also your employees.
Absolutely. Good to see you, Joe.
Good to see you guys too. All right, until next time, this is the iProv vlog. You got to work on that outro. All right, see you, Pat.
See you, Joe. Bye.